Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We are back with another round from the NASCAR Throwback Series. Round 5 tonight from Nashville Super Speedway. The event was planned to be for Martinsville this week, but after some admin looking, it appears we're going to be at Nashville Super Speedway, which should offer us some pretty good racing tonight. Yeah, we've done a lot of laps around places like this, and this car is actually a boatload of fun here. I'm going to try and bring you the best broadcast that I can tonight, fighting off a little bit of a head cold, so if I disappear for moments at a time, it's probably because I'm hacking up a lung back here. But we're going to try and bring you the best racing action that we can tonight as we watch Gary plow the wall and try to flip his car. Put some race info up on screen here real fast, as I was a little late getting everything going. 67 degrees in the air puts it at 68 degrees on the track tonight. 187 laps for these drivers, 4 sets of tires on the wall. Should be a pretty interesting night. So we'll see how all of that goes, as my overlay stuff is not working the way that it should. There we go. Good Lord. The joys of trying to get everything laid out so it works, right? All right, let me get track map stuff up on screen. Most of these drivers qualified. We got about 3 that haven't yet. I don't know if they're going to qualify or not here. Yes, dear, 187 laps. You heard that correctly. Oh, man. It's been a busy day around here, too. You know, we got a lot of stuff going on, not just from a broadcast standpoint, but, you know, from an actual racing standpoint with the WNIS opening up next week. That's going to be a huge thing. We'll have some streams during all of that. I'll have that. You'll have my race view of it. I've been working on setups for Premier Racing Setup Shop. That's been a huge thing last 2 days. So we're getting good. So Michelle, I'm trying. I know I've got a lot of filters on the mic that kind of help some things, so I sound a little less nasally, but it's been a struggle the last couple of days. So I think we've just about finished up. Yep, we have finished up qualifying, so we'll get some things off screen. We'll get your starting lineup for the night as soon as I get the other thing off screen. All right, so your pole sitter for tonight's race is going to be Jacob Bowen in that 21 Wood Brothers car. Maybe we'll see him rebound tonight. You know, the Daytona winner has struggled in recent weeks. We've got Father Ball to the outside. I'm really pumped for this. He's really good at the 1.5 miles of the trucks, and these kind of drive real similar. Kevin Savoy is going to start in 3rd position. Double D is going to start 4th. Andrew Phipps, your points leader, he rolls off 7th place tonight. Jeff Pless is going to start 8th. Anthony McPherson is going to roll off 9th. Tom Gom's going to start 10th. JD McHaley, last week's winner. See if he can pull it off again this week. He's going to start 11th. Gabe Griffin rolls off 12th. Moving back just a little bit further, we've got Aiden Haller in 13th. Sam Green's going to start 14th. Zach Korn is scheduled to start 15th. He'll roll to the back from a penalty from a previous race. Gary Freeman is going to start 16th. Carter Nelson 17th. Diesel Weasels 18th. Eric Cap, the Silent Assassin, going to start 19th tonight. Dustin Haynes is going to start 20th. And then you've got father and son Josh and Michael Brock starting 21st and 22nd to round out your field tonight. So let's get your timing tower up on the board. We got to pay some bills with some logos here. We're ready to go racing. Yeah, night racing is always fun to watch. I think it gives a little bit better of a view. We're going to have to get Sam's paint scheme up on stream at some point. He opted for one that I really like, so we'll get that up here a little bit later when we get a caution. But pace car's going to duck off. We're going to kick this thing off as soon as we hit the restart zone. And we're off at the races. 2 by 2 we go across the start finish line. We'll see if these guys can make it through the first couple laps clean. Big thing's going to be keeping the tires happy for the first lap, because it does get loose, as we see almost a 4 wide situation back there by Fatherball, and Savoy's wasting no time. He's going right to the front. He's had a rough couple of weeks here, so I'm not surprised by the fact that he is headed for the front at the moment, but we'll see how it works out for him here as we roll off of turn number 4. Savoy to the bottom, Bowen in the middle. I almost think that the racing surface might actually be a little bit faster. So Bowen's going to have a good run out of the corner. Ooh, Savoy slips up just a little bit there, but still keeps it rolling. Ooh, there's a difference of braking zones right there. We're going to get through. We'll go through lap 3, and then we'll do a crank it up. We'll let these guys kind of stretch out just a little bit here. But Bowen leads across the start finish line. I think a lot of it tonight, you're going to have to get out in front. You're going to have to try to stay there while saving tire. I think if you wind up buried back in the field, I don't think you're in for a fun night. As Bowen starts to extend his lead, we're going to go ahead and move to TV static. I got Michael Brock crashed in the back, but we're still green. We'll go to TV static. We'll crank it up for a lap here. We stay rolling. I did see Michael Brock was able to get rolling again here, so I don't know if he just looped it out or what, but Bowen starts to open up a 0.4 gap over Jesse Bunnel. You got Andrew Phipps in third, Kevin Savoy's fourth, Mike McKaylee second, Double D's faded back to sixth for now. Crownover is seventh, McPherson eighth, JD's in ninth, and Tom Gomes in 10th. Starting to get some separation. The top 4 have broken away just a little bit here. Also, Diggs, don't worry about it, man. It's not a big deal to me, so all good in my book. We got a little bit of a battle back here. Actually, we got to go forward a little bit further between Double D and Anthony Crownover. Crownover's had a rough couple of races. Hopefully, he can keep it clean tonight and make his way towards the front here. And then we've got JD trying to move up. He's trying to get into that 8th position around McPherson riding the bottom. Ooh, they're getting all sorts of close back here. Tom and JD actually kind of working to try to get past McPherson. McPherson's stuck in that high lane at the moment. Looks like Tom's going to almost clear him. Yeah, we're good. We're going to roll back in single file. We'll go back up to the front. Now we've gotten to a point where the top 3 have broken away. Savoy's fallen off of that pack a little bit. I don't know if he drove it a little bit too hard for too long. Not really sure at the moment. So we'll have to kind of keep an eye on that, or maybe he's decided that he wants to save just a little bit of tire, kind of let these guys maybe burn their stuff up a little bit. But still impressed with Fatherball. He's sitting back here. He's about 5th position. Rolling good. Rolling clean. Last week we saw him run lead blocker for JD the last couple of laps. So those guys get to enjoy a little bit of a father-son finish there as JD finished first. So kind of cool. As we got a battle with Tom and JD. JD's trying to run that bottom. Tom trying to get around on the high side. We'll see if Tom can get it done here in the next lap or so. You don't really want to hang out on that outside without a drafting partner. Otherwise, it's going to make for a not so fun night. You'll probably burn those tires up after a little bit. But the bottom here, if you check up, kind of roll the bottom, it's not going to hurt you too bad. You'll actually save quite a bit of tire, just because this track is so tight at times. Tom's still working to get around JD. Finally clears him across the start-finish line there. JD going to kind of come back. Josh Brock looking to go around him now. Still really early, only 12 laps in, so losing some positions right now. Figure out what works, what doesn't. Whoa, Dustin Haynes came in with some authority on that one. That man is on the move. A little bit of a Austin Dillon-esque driving style there for just a minute, but he came in hot. Currently, right now, Diggs, there is not. So, Dustin going to try to go after JD. We'll go back to the front here, see what's going on with Bowen. He continues to lead over Bunnel and Phipps. I got to imagine Bunnel and Phipps are working together. They've worked really well together so far this season, so we'll see how that pans out. It's kind of interesting how one usually does pretty well, the other one finishes bad. It just kind of, unfortunately, trades back and forth. We see Savoy back there. He's fallen to about 1.4. Still not bad. The big thing is for Savoy, he's got to start having some good finishes, especially with a couple of these races. He got wrecked out early, so he's looking to bounce back. Really digging Double D's number 16 car in the dark here. That McGuire's paint scheme. And you got Crown Over and Fatherball right behind them. So maybe these guys can mount a charge at Phipps and Bunnel. But they're about 1.5 back to Savoy. Looking at some other things around the track. Got JD's fallen to 12th at the moment as Haynes tries to go around him on the outside. So I think JD's trying to play the long game here on the tires, or maybe he's pushed it a little too hard early. We'll have to see. Diggs, they did run white and blue back in the 60s and 70s for a little bit. That was usually associated with Dan Gurney, though. And then I think they kind of brought that back a little later on in NASCAR. Right about the time it would have been Ricky Rudd driving and maybe a couple other guys. So. Ooh, there's a challenge up front. Bunnel trying to go around Bowen. Whoa, Bowen barely slips it in between between Bunnel and Phipps there. But these guys, them fighting over this is going to let Savoy and those guys close in. Not much of a fight from Bowen currently, as now Phipps is going after his teammate. And it's funny, we've talked to Phipps the last couple of times we've had him in the interview room. The only time he touches this car is during this league, so he doesn't have a lot of time in this car. And it's very interesting how he's kind of taking it to these guys right now. Especially with Bunnel. Bunnell's no slouch. Bunnell actually races the 34 Legends. So, real racer versus sim racer, and it's kind of interesting to watch. So, but that has let Savoy and those guys close to within a second of these three. So Savoy here probably just drooling as they dangle the carrot out in front of them. We'll see if they can close that up. So right now it's Bunnel, Phipps, Bowen, your top three. Savoy, Daly, Crownover, Fatherball, Tom, Josh Brock, and Dustin Haynes, your top 10. And we've kind of got three distinct, almost four packs. You've got Josh Brock leading the second pack right now. You got to remember, Josh came from the back. He's up 13 positions currently. So he is definitely on the move. He's going to maybe, nope, he's not going to fall in behind Tom. He says, I'm going to the bottom. I want to go forward. So side by side, they go off of turn number 4 back across the start finish line. But if these boys keep fighting, it's just going to slow them down to Fatherball and those guys, because these guys are about 5 seconds back. Tom trying to side draft to slow Josh Brock down. It's actually some good battling right here for 9th and or 8th and 9th. Dustin Haynes still on the move. He's looking for any way to get forward. Dustin is looking really fast. I think if we could get a caution to re-rack these guys, I don't know. I think Dustin Haynes might be able to challenge for the lead based off of what I'm seeing. We're gonna go. We'll go off the roll bar of Dustin Haynes, see what he can see here. Man, it is really close between Tom and Josh Brock. We'll go off the nose. These boys are definitely duking it out, that's for sure. Go back to TV2. We'll check out our leaders. Single filed out for the top 3. Kevin Savoy, he's back to about 2 seconds again, so he's going to need those guys to kind of start falling off for this pack to really catch. But, man, I'm still impressed. Fatherball hanging right with the fast guys tonight. So it's kind of interesting. It's like Fatherball showed up after a game of bowling, and he came to play with the big boys. So all right, so we'll move back a little bit further. Tom and Josh Brock still side by side. Neither one given an inch here. At some point, you got to wonder, somebody's tires got to start to give out here. As we go across the start finish line, still 2 by 2. Everybody kind of looking for a way around this battle. Even though it's for 8th and 9th, still a damn good battle to watch. But they've already fallen back to 7.8. So we'll see how long. And it looks like Josh Brock has finally bested the Gominator. We'll see if they can start moving forward now. But that's put them in a considerable hole 28 laps in. I also see that Anthony Crownover has gotten around Savoy and Dennis and is now trying to make his way forward here. Crownover 2.3 back and holding currently. He's going to need help from probably one of these guys to make a run at him. "29 laps into this race." Crownover and Dennis going to try to put up a fight to come forward. We'll come back and look at Josh Brock and Tom Gom. They've broken away a little bit from the group that they were behind. I think at this point, Tom may have burned his tires up trying to run the outside. So Josh Brock is got complete control of the 8th position. Tom going to try to go back after him. But they are starting to slowly move forward again. JD keeps trying to run that bottom, which I don't think is the worst decision in the world. I think that's going to help him quite a bit long run, especially if this stays green. I know Michael Brock is kind of looking for a lucky dog here. He's a lap down. We'll come back and look at Michael Brock. He's clean for the most part. A little bit of damage at right rear, but I think as long as he kind of stays in the draft, rides, maybe gets a lucky caution here, I think we could see him get back on the lead lap. I know the answer to this, Tiggs. I think I do know the answer to this. I'll let somebody else answer it, though. Bunnel, Phipps, and Bowen still lead the top three. Crownover's 2.5 back. I know the answer as to why Petty came back to NASCAR after doing drag racing for a little while, and it had more to do with something not NASCAR related. I can tell you that. But I do believe it was the Pro Stock division, I think. Because it wasn't Funny Car, or it wasn't Funny Car. Well, that would have been way before Funny Car, so. Ooh, Phipps slipped up a little bit there off of 2. It's going to let Bowen come around the bottom side. Bunnel going to lead across the line again. We can see Crownover. He's trying to get there, but he needs some help. Diggs, I do believe it was like the precursor to the Funny Car division-ish. So a lot of that stuff's changed since then. Crownover trying to mount a charge. 2.5 back to that lead pack. What else do we got to look at here? Josh Brock. He's 8.3 back. He's got no drafting help, but he's got a ways to get to Father Ball. So I think right now, if it stays green flag racing, he's going to need to save as much fuel as he can and maybe stretch these fuel stops. The Gominator back here with Gabe Griffin. Tom's falling off to 9.9. I think just running that hard for that long, it's not helped. So Tom's the one guy I do know that he ain't met a set of tires he ain't burned off before. So back to the three-way battle for the lead. Bowen's falling off just a little bit. Nothing super crazy right now, but we still roll cleanly through lap 39. Now, to go with Diggs's question, what was it that caused Richard Petty to go back NASCAR racing more than anything? Well, he left NASCAR because NASCAR outlawed the Hemi, and so he left to go drag racing because that's what he was going to get paid to do, is run the Hemi. But why did he leave drag racing? These guys continue to pull away. Up 2.6 over Crownover, and Crownover's opened up a gap over Dennis a little bit in Savoy. It was actually a little girl that was in the stands, and from my understanding, I asked about this car from somebody that would know what happened to it afterward. And it sounds like after all that was said and done, they buried the car at the Petty Enterprises shop, which apparently was a thing back then with NASCAR teams. Like, I guess if you go digging around Mooresville, North Carolina, you'll find a bunch of buried race cars. Really weird to me. But back to Crownover. Crownover and Savoy have made a run for it. And then Dennis and Fatherball are a little bit further back. So this is really starting to stretch. Like, if we're going to get a caution here, we're actually going to need probably something pretty big. So I even asked about Pete Hamilton's Daytona winner. And from my understanding, I think it went to Richard, and then it got totaled in a wreck, and then it got buried, which could you imagine burying a Superbird? Kind of wild if you ask me, but let's see. Is Josh Brock closing in on these boys at all? Josh is hanging at about 9-1. He's still about the same distance up the road to Dennis. So, we got Mac coming down pit road. I don't know if that's a scheduled stop or if there's some damage on that car. It looks like there's a little bit of separation on the right front, so I'm not sure if there's some wall damage or if we're starting to see green flag pit stops here, but we'll kind of keep an eye on that. Diggs, if that ever happens, I'll let you know, because I know somebody that works for Richard, which is kind of cool. I have a plan to go down there at some point, but we got Carter Nelson coming down pit road, Andrew Phipps, Jacob Bowen. Top 3 are on pit road. Top 7 almost are on pit road. Actually, Crownover inherits the lead with Savoy. I think if you can stretch the fuel a little bit here, that may play out long run. But you're in it for the long run at this point, as we've got the other half of the field on pit road. So we're going to see if some of these guys run these things out of fuel. Crownover going to bring it down. Savoy beats Crownover on a pit road. Dennis coming down as well. JD stayed out that time, so I don't know how much more fuel JD has. He's going to go another lap. I'm wondering if he's not using some of that fuel saving strategy from last race and putting it to use in this one. We'll have to see. This may pay off big for him. As we get ready to make our way off of turn number 4, JD's going to dive it down. The Gominator coming with him. Aiden and Pless are going to fight it out. Who's going to lead this lap? Pless is going to get a lap led there. See, Diggs, that's what I thought. I wasn't 100% sure, but I knew it was close. I don't know if Pless is going to try to pit here. It looks like he's going to stay out another lap. Maybe he's got the fuel. Oh, Aiden tried to go down and it botched it. So now he's got to get all the way back up to speed, but he's going to lose all that time. I've got Gary crashed somewhere. I don't know if he just tried to make pit road and it didn't work. Oh yeah, Gary spun around pit road entrance, but he keeps it low enough that it doesn't matter. Jeff Pless headed to pit road. I gotta imagine, yep, Aiden coming this time, so that's gonna give it back to Bunnel. So a lot of these guys Gonna have fresher tires. Looks like Tom Gobb might have got a penalty on pit road. Not real sure. We still stay green as these three battle it out. Taylor, I have actually seen Stapleton 42's video from the museum. I really want to go bad because there's a lot of cool things. And from what my buddy said, there's so much stuff that you can see around there that's not the museum too. So these guys just got a wicked three-way battle going on. We got Gary coming back down pit road. I don't know if that's for a penalty or what. We got some lap cars mixed in. We got Diesel in the 95. I think he was one of the last ones to pit, maybe? Let's just double check this. We're looking for pit lap. Let's show me some data. So Diesel pitted on 45. Bunnel pitted 45 as well. So I think Diesel may have got hit with a penalty or was just kind of slow coming off of pit road. So Diesel is out there fighting for his life right now, as Bunnell's going to go around him on the low side. He's going to let the top three go, try to not get in their way. Very, very respectable out of the 95 there. I really need to stop wearing my Apple Watch when I do these things. Apparently, it's telling me that I need to stand up. Sorry, but I'm sick, so we're gonna stay seated for the night. As the top three all clear Diesel. They're 3.7 over Crownover and Savoy. We'll have to see where all that's going to sift out towards the end. I think these guys are on more of a long run type deal. But yeah, we'll see. I mean, they're 3.9 right now, so they're still dropping a little bit. I'm actually kind of surprised because they're getting kind of racy for second place up here. As Gary looks like he's coming back down pit road again. So that's not a good sign. Bunnell going to open it up to 0.3 over Bowen at the moment. Let's go a little bit further back. Crownover in Savoy. Oh no, Michael Brock having another bad night, it looks like. We're going to take a peek and see what happened there. He just gets loose and it hooks right down pit road. He locks it down. Good on you, Michael. As we keep on rolling. Crownover going to go to the inside of Gary Freeman. He's broken free of Savoy for a minute. Where's Dennis? We got Dennis and Josh Brock. JB. Oh, man. Josh is all the way back to 20th. I wonder how many of these guys got pit road speeding penalties here. Fatherball just a little bit further back. He's still hanging on to a top 10. So good on you, Fatherball. Sam Green a little bit further back. This is the paint scheme I wanted to get on stream because I really like the camo with the black and orange. It's kind of like what Dustin Haynes is rocking. Sam running 8th right now, having a good run. He's had a very rough time of it. Gary went off track again? What happened to Gary? Oh my God, he just cannot catch a break. I think that might be it for the 34 car. But Sam holding down 8th place right now. We're going to go back. Jeff Pless is running in 9th. Remember, he stayed out longer than everybody else, him and Aiden did. So Pless is setting himself up really good if this thing runs long green flag, holding down ninth currently. Going back a little bit further, we've got Korn in the 19 car. He wasn't even sure he was going to race tonight. Had some modem issues. As far as I'm aware, I think he's running off of a hotspot currently. But looking good so far. JD right behind him, sitting in 11th position. And then we've got Gabe Griffin sitting back here in 12th. And then coming through the pack, Dustin Haynes trying to get back forward again. He had a good run earlier, so we'll see how that plays out. And then we've got Aiden. Man, the leaders are right there. Aiden's like the last car in the lead lap. Carter's actually a lap down. Oh, Aiden trying to hold a solid line. As we watch the leaders try to roll by your lap cars there of Carter Nelson and Aiden Haller. Carter going to try and hold the wall. Crownover's holding these guys to about 3.7. I know he's out there by himself right now, but I think them having to go by the lap cars, Crownover doesn't have to check up. He can just run smooth and try to pull them back in. Kevin Savoy's dropped off a little bit. Tom Gom around him at the moment. Tom a lap down. As we try to find... Oh, JD fading a little bit further. He's down to 12th so far. I don't think JD's really trying to fight either. If he can save some fuel, he's going to try it. Although JD is looking like he might go a lap down here very soon, as we've got Bunnel, Phipps, and Bowen bearing down on him. So not exactly what they want to see. So, but I'm going to step away here for about 2 seconds, and I'll be back with y'all here momentarily. All right, so Bunnell, Phipps, Bowen, your top three. Looking to see where Crownover's at. He's 3.8. He's lost a 10th on these guys as they put Gabe Griffin, Zach Korn, JD McHaley a lap down. So we're lapped up through about 9th position, but I don't know where that's going to play out when it comes to fuel strategy and stops and all of that. We saw We saw our first ones right about lap 45, so I'll be interested to see what happens here. Did guys save enough that we see short pit cycles on the third? Because I do believe they're going to get at least 2 more stops in this. Maybe 3, depending. So if we went 45, we should see the next set. If my math is correct, about lap 90. So we'll have to see. But I think some of these guys maybe set up long run. Some of these guys just going after it and praying for a caution. Just kind of a mixed bag as to what's going on. This Crownover is trying to get any sort of draft that he can get. We'll see. He's got Diesel up the road there in front of him. He's going to need something to be able to pull these guys. But you can hear he's just smooth as butter through the corners. So Kevin Savoy a little bit further back. He's got the lap cars in front of him right now, so trying to use some of that draft maybe to stay in touch, but he's about 2 seconds off the back of Crownover. And then we got to come back a little bit further to find old Double D. He's about 4 seconds back from Savoy, so the top 10 are getting real stretched out here, but we don't have to go too far to find old Father Ball. He started second. He's sitting 7th right now. You know, I gotta wonder, did the old man find something that JD couldn't find tonight, or is JD playing a different game than we are? Where else we got? Sam's still sitting in 8th. He's about 24 seconds back, 12 seconds up to Father Ball. So he's got a ways, and we got Bunnel and those guys getting ready to come off of turn number 2 as these guys get ready to go into turn number 3. He's got Jeff Pless right behind him. So, you know, maybe these guys can work together, try to run away from the leaders a little bit. But, yeah, and then Gabe Griffin's sitting in 10th, 1 lap down. So if the caution falls right now, Gabe Griffin be your lucky dog. Because these guys are just, Bunnel is just the class of the field right now with Phipps and Bowen. I think Bowen just trying to learn something from these guys and maybe try to make a push towards the end of the race here. Well, Bowen's going to go to the inside of Phipps. He's a man with a plan. You're probably right, Michelle. I know last night we had our 87s league race. I was going to broadcast that, but with my head cold and everything, I'm like, you know what? I just need to focus on racing. And he had a pretty decent go. Me, him, and Dennis kind of made some mistakes, but all in all, the PRS team was rocking last night, so that was pretty cool. And I think we made some good improvements. I think it's going to be good towards the WNIS, so that'll be a good thing. But as Jesse Bunnel continues to lead here, starting to open up a little bit over Phipps, but we'll see if these guys can pull him right back in. I mean, with 2 cars, you got to figure they're going to be able to pull him back in by themselves. And I wouldn't want to get too far out for fear of burning too much fuel by myself. See where Sam and Pless are. Man, they're getting awfully close to going a lap down. It's going to be close on fuel strategy. All that stuff is going to play into it. But yeah, these guys are slowly looking like they're going to get taken here very shortly. So we go back to the battle for the lead. These guys are making my job way too easy. I just got to point a camera at them. Looking at Crownover. Crownover starting to deal with the lap traffic, and unfortunately, it's slowed him down. He's 4.5 seconds off the back of your leaders now. So he's going to need some unfortunate events out of that lead pack. But I don't think Anthony Crownover is going to be too upset if he pulls off a 4th place tonight after the way that his season's kind of started. So 45 laps per tank. That's funny, Michelle. Yeah, Crownover needs to clear corn and try to go back after JD and use him to draft forward. Diggs, I did not broadcast last night. It's my league race, so we did Daytona the first week. We had Phoenix last night, and I was sick enough that broadcasting was not anywhere on the top of my list, nor did I think anybody wanted to hear me. So, but Crownover has cleared corn. We'll see if he can get back up to JD here. And I already see Crownover starting to bust it down back towards the 5-second mark after falling off a little bit. Back up front, still about 2-car separation between the top 3. Taking a look, see if there's any close battles. It looks like Double D's kind of caught up to Fatherball, so they might be able to do something, see if they can't go after these lap cars and get forward. Diggs, why do I have a feeling it was Rick Wilson? As strange as that sounds. Fatherball's still running pretty good. He's actually got the draft of these guys, so he might pull out on Dennis a little bit. Either that or it was Tim Richmond. No, it was, if you said it was 93, wouldn't have been Tim Richmond. I don't remember. I should know this though. Ooh, Phipps gonna challenge Bunnel as we go down into 1. They're gonna try and make it interesting now. We're starting to get ready to do our 2nd round of green flag pit stops. Were they an active NASCAR driver at the time? Let me ask you that. "87 laps in the books," and Bunnel, Phipps, and Bowen have taken Crownover to task here. They're up 5.5 over Crownover. They drove some NASCAR. Okay. Phipps is on pit road. I'm gonna guess that's one of our scheduled stops. So that's gonna leave Bunnel and Bowen to their own devices at the moment. 93. Harry Gant. And we've got Dustin Haynes on pit road now as well. Phipps' off pit lane. Morgan Shepherd. I'm probably all around on this one, but we'll see what happens. As we're definitely starting to cycle through green flag pit stops. At this point, I think Bunnel's got to try to stretch it with Phipps pitting early. I think he's crazy if he doesn't try to stretch it as far as he can. Father ball down on pit road. Oh, there they come. And they're going to come down together. So your top two going to come down as Crown Over. Crown Over stays out. Father ball just come back down? No, he's still on pit road. I don't know what this thing's talking about. But Crown Over Savoy stay out. Dennis stays out as well. I do believe Pless is going to stay out here. So Crown Over is going to lead a lap. We know JD can go longer than the 90 laps. We've seen that. We know Jeff Pless can reach even further, which is bad news for these guys, especially depending on how things kind of fall out. Bet we see Crown Over here in the next lap as we see JD move up. So yeah, Crown Over is going to head in if the camera ever changes. So Dennis should actually inherit the lead here in just a second. You see him going through the bottom of your screen. Yeah, so Dennis is going to go ahead and lead a lap there. Anytime you are, Diggs. I'm sure Dennis is going to like the fact that he at least got a lap let in. That'll help out in the points situation there. JD's up to third. Dennis coming down to pit road. So that's going to make Jeff our de facto leader. I'm very interested to see where Jeff can run to. You know, if he can make it quite a ways, I think this is going to change the strategy a little bit. We'll see how many laps that Pless does. But right now, he's already 4 past your leaders. So I think it might change some things here. Oh, I forgot that Andretti did that too. Yeah, derp. I should have guessed that. So Plus still stays out. I don't know. I think Plus can make it to the 100 lap mark. I'd be very curious to find out, unless he just let Diesel go because he's going to pit here. It looks like Pless is going to break it down, so he's going to make it 97 laps. This could get very, very interesting, as Phipps is going to take over the lead, and he's actually jumped Bunnel and Bowen. So he's got a 2-second lead over the other two guys that were running with him earlier. So we'll see if Bunnel can run Phipps down. If he does, that negates everything that Phipps tried to do. We do have Aiden and Eric on pit road. Jeff's just leaving pit road. Phipps holding on 1.8 over Bunnel and Bowen. Taking a look to see. So there's Bunnel and Bowen right there. And then they've got Anthony Crownover's about 9 seconds back from your leader, so he's 8 seconds back from these guys. So this is the main battle we got on track right now. And we've got Father Ball. He's up a position. He's up to 6th right now. Then Dennis is sitting in 7th. Sam Green is in 8th. Then we've got Pless in 9th. JD's sitting in 10th position. So not a bad showing. Then we've got Gabe Griffin is in 11th. He's trying to chase down JD there. But we've lapped all the way up to 8th place. Corn's off in the grass. We'll go see what happened there. Oh, he was already loose by the time we got there. Looks like he just overdrove his exit. And, yeah, down into the grass. So he's doing Gary duty. So, not a bad, or not a good night for Mr. Cornish. Double D's headed down pit road. What happened to Double D? I'm going to have to roll that back. Looks like he just brought it down pit road and towed. So not really sure what happened to Double D, but back to your leader. Phipps coming across the line right now. Oh, we got Gabe Griffin coming down pit road. I don't know if that's a early stop or a scheduled stop. We'll see if Phil comments in the chat. So we'll have to kind of keep an eye on that. That may be actually an early stop in an effort to try to jump ahead. Scheduled stop. So Gabe actually getting it to stretch a little bit further, possibly. Looking for Bunnel and Bowen. About 1.1 back, so they've bit into the lead of Phipps a little bit. So we'll have to see how this plays out. Because now Phipps has pulled out about a 10th as they try to get around Carter in that number 11 car and head down the back stretch. And they're going to go back to work on Phipps, but Phipps just seems to be hitting the lap cars right where he needs to. He's got Tom Gomm straight ahead of him. I do see Dennis Daly out. All right. Phipps continues to lead. We've got Bunnel and Bowen in second. So I need to step away for just a quick second here, everybody. So I'm going to go ahead and get this on the most exciting stuff, and we'll get you set for just a minute here. And I will be back with y'all momentarily. All right, sorry about that, guys. Needed to get a drink. This cold is killing me. All right, back to the situation at hand. Phipps leads right now 1.1 over Jesse Bunnel. And Bunnel has dropped Bowen by a second. So I'm not sure if Bowen's going into fuel strategy mode or what we're seeing here. But that could be a factor, because I think based on where they pit, I don't know that they could make it without 2 stops. And I think the rest of these guys might be able to stretch it a little bit further. I almost got to bet money that Pless can at this point. We know he stopped. Just doing some quick math right here. He stopped on lap 97. So he's getting about 48 and a half laps out of that. So if we go 97 plus, we'll just go 48 for posterity. That puts him at 145 plus another 48. That puts Jeff Pless in a very good position to make it with 1 more fuel stop. So it'll be interesting to see what happens here. So Anthony Crownover, he's 9 seconds back right now. So he's closed in a little bit on your leaders, but he's still got a lot of work to do to get there, as Savoy is all over the back of him. So I don't know if Crownover just kind of backed it down to save fuel, but that may be something that we're looking at this point. Side by side, Kevin Savoy looking to the bottom of Crownover. The lap car is Zach Korn just kind of hanging out at the moment. Savoy going to dive it down to the bottom and pick up another position. So he's up to P4 as he slips coming off, and Crownover's going to go back at him again. Side by side out of 1 and 2 we go. Savoy to the lead of Crownover. See if Crownover comes back on him, or if he's just going to kind of give up the fight a little bit. It looks like Savoy's going to keep on trucking. About 10 and a half seconds after that little battle up to Bowen. Bowen has lost further touch with Bunnel. Bunnel staying at about a 1.3 back to your leader, Andrew Phipps. And we've lapped up to almost 6th place. Fatherball, the last car on the lead lap. The leaders are knocking on his back door. It'll be interesting to see what happens. I almost feel like we could go caution free the rest of this race. We go back and look at Andrew Phipps, 1.4 over Jesse Bunnel now. Bowen continuing to fall. He's back 4.2 at the moment. 4.3 actually. I think Bowen just having some fits trying to get around Tom cleanly. I think that's what's slowing him down here as we're drifting back a little bit further at 4.5, almost 4.6 now. So Bowen clears the Gominator. We'll see if he can mount a charge back to Bunnel. Savoy has cleared Crown over by about 0.4. Back to your leader. Phipps continues to lead 1.5 seconds up over Bunnel. 122 laps in, and if I remember right, I believe he pitted on 86. So if he pitted lap 86, we'll call it 45. Should be pitting around lap 131, so I would expect Phipps to be the first one to come in on 131. And if he's at 45, he won't make the end. He'll make it to lap 176. So at this point, he's got to try and save some fuel, or otherwise, I think he's hurting. And if we check Bunnel, we know Bunnel came in on 90. We had 45. That takes us to 135. Bunnel can make the end with a little bit of fuel save, but it's 7 laps worth. So I don't know if that's going to happen either. Still a lot of time left in this game as we watch Phipps get ready to lap Fatherball here in a minute. I don't know. Does Jimmy Johnson get it done? Boom, confetti. I don't know. I think Pless is the man that's sitting in the best position right now, because we already know that Pless can make it on one more fuel stop if he keeps running the way that he's running. He is a lap down to your leaders, but if he doesn't have to pit again, he can easily unlap himself. I don't know. Man, that's a tough call. I kind of like where Pless is at here. You know, I think he's made the right call so far. I think him, or, you know, even Aiden for that matter, but I think Aiden got a penalty, so that has put him back a little ways. Yeah, he's about half a lap back from Pless. I think one of those guys could easily pull it off. But we'll have to wait and see as we go back to your leader, Phipps. Now 1.7 over Bunnel, but I don't know if that's going to be enough to help him. I think at this point, you got to go until this thing is on empty. Like, you got to coast it into the pits on E to stretch it as far as you can. Ooh, as Aiden gets into Gabe there a little bit off corner. Aiden popping the wall across the tri-oval area. That's going to slow Phipps down a little bit. You just need to be smart as you move through the field. Diesel checks up, lets Phipps go. He has caught a whole bunch of lap traffic all at once. I think Bowen might have some wheel damage or something. I don't know if he smacked the wall, but he's definitely slower than he was. Let's check the back. The back of that car is pretty clean. Don't see any issues there. If we rear chase it, I don't see damage to the nose. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. He's drifted to 8 seconds back, so I don't know if he's just used up his tires or if he just didn't take tires. We'll have to see. Kurt Busch. Back to your leader. Phipps has cleared Gabe and Aiden. When you said infamous, I knew it was Kurt Busch. Who's one of the most unlikely NASCAR IndyCar crossovers that most people don't remember? I'll give you a hint. It was in the 60s. And they were a NASCAR driver that drove IndyCar. Phipps is pulled out to 2 seconds over Bunnel. So Bunnel just middle of the backstretch there. I got Dustin Haynes crashed. Oh, Dustin was trying to come to pit road. He's going to make it clean. So Phipps and Bunnel going to come together, which is interesting. Wrong and wrong. So Bowen's going to inherit the lead here. Like I said, they were a NASCAR driver that wound up driving IndyCar. So not Mario was an IndyCar driver that drove NASCAR. I'll give you through the pit cycles to think about it. Damn it, Diggs, you got it. Bowen has Savoy all over him, so Savoy's going to go to the lead for the first time tonight. Or the first time since the very early parts of this race. Phipps gets out in front of Pless. I don't think Phipps took tires. I don't think Andrew Phipps took tires, because Bunnell's a ways back and they came onto pit road together. The other one that would have been from the 60s would have been Donnie Allison, who earned Rookie of the Year, I believe, in 1967, driving for none other than AJ Foyt. So we're full of all sorts of motorsports knowledge around here. As Bowen is, or not Bowen, Phipps is going to get his lap back the hard way. I don't know if it's going to help him though, because we know that Jeff Pless can go that much further on fuel. So we'll have to see what happens here. So, yeah, Phipps is around Savoy. We'll see when Savoy is going to come to pit here. We're also going to kind of keep an eye on Jeff Pless. Jeff Pless is just outside of being back on the lead lap. Bowen and Savoy come down pit road together. It's going to hand the lead to Anthony Crownover. These guys have just been balls to the wall all night. And shockingly, about as clean as they can be, too. And it looks like here comes Crownover. That's going to let Phipps, Bunnel, and Pless all unlap themselves. So Phipps, as long as he gets around in front of Crownover, that's going to put him to the lead. But remember, he can't make it from here. If we take a look at this, and we'll get it up on screen, he pitted on lap 132. Doing some quick back of the napkin math. He'll have to pit by lap 177. That's 10 laps of fuel saving he needs to do. If we look at our last lap times, Phipps is flat out. He's running 29.7s. I don't know. I don't think he's going to try and make it on one more stop. I think Jeff Pless is going to play the smart card here. We may see him try to do both, or do a single stop and see if he can't beat those guys on the long run. I think he might be able to. It'll be interesting to see where it falls out. Michelle, I do know that that Parnelli did drive both IndyCar and NASCAR, and so did his son PJ. So the only man to ever lead an IndyCar and a NASCAR race on the same day, though, was John Andretti. So some interesting thought for you there. And yes, Parnelli was a huge proponent for Score off-road racing. You got to remember the big Ole Bronco. Oh, they're still around, Eric. They still run the Baja 1000, the Mint 400, the Baja 500. If it comes to desert racing in the United States, so they handle it. And there's a fun racing fact. Mario Andretti won the 1969 Indy 500. Does anybody know how do I put this? Because I don't want to give too much away. It's kind of hard to do it without giving it away. They did not do winners photos with Mario. Why? Phipps continues to lead. He's 5 seconds up over Bunnel at this point. Man, I gotta wonder, did Phipps take right sides? I'm kind of curious. So Bunnell's 5.3 back. So Savoy up to third. Diggs, I don't think Mario tried the doubleheader ever. But that's not the reason why they didn't do winners photos with him. Man, Phipps just continues to pull on Bunnell. 5.6. Just slowly ticking them off here. So to answer the question, they did not take winners photos with Mario because he was burned in a wreck earlier in Carb Week. So he had burns to his face. His twin brother, Aldo, sat in for the photos. And unless you knew the difference between them, you would never guess that it was Aldo Andretti, which is John Andretti's father, sat in on those photos. And Michelle's 100% correct. If you look at the qualifying photos, you can see the burns on Mario's face. And so that's why they didn't do the winners photos with him. They did it with Aldo. What's up, Martin? Phipps still leads. Phipps is up 6.4 over Bunnel. What do you got, Diggs? When was the last year NASCAR ran Le Mans before the Camaro? 1974, and it was AMC's. I can't remember the team, but I believe it was 1974. Kevin Savoy is going to try and track down Jesse Bunnel. He's about almost dead nuts on it, about 8 seconds back. It was 74, 73. Phipps about to put JD another lap down. Wow. We're getting into the 2-lap mark. That's wild. You know what? You might be right, because I always get the front end of those cars mixed up. Because they kind of look really similar, which is really kind of weird. So JD going to go another lap down here, but JD's up to 8th right now. If he can hang on to Phipps, he might get back to his dad. Marty Robbins. I actually saw the photo of Marty Robbins today where he broke his nose, collarbone, and sternum in a crash, avoiding Richard Childress in Charlotte. And he appeared a couple of days later dressed in a suit for a country music thing. Heck yeah, Martin. I wish I could pull off wins more often, but man, Top Split, she's a brutal one some days. Phipps is now up almost 8 seconds over Bunnel, so I've got to wonder if somebody tried a 2-tire stop or what the deal is here. Phipps is still running 29.9s, unless Bunnell's trying to make the fuel last. We'll have to see. Yeah, Dix, I can't remember who else was on that team. But I remember, I think it was like the year before they announced the Garage 56 entry, that was a, that they had a documentary about it, which was kind of fascinating. It kind of looks like Phipps might have slowed it down a little bit. We'll see what his lap time was there. 29.9. And I gotta imagine that Savoy's trying to keep it slower as well. And JD trying to stay with Phipps. Let's take a look and see. JD pitted on 141. It's gonna be close for JD. If we do some math here really fast. 141 plus 40, call it 40, not 25, 141 plus 45. JD should be able to make it. He may have to clutch it a little bit, but I don't think he's going to have to do as much as Andrew Phipps is going to have to do, quite honestly. But Phipps is slowing it down a little bit. So So we checked the gap last time. He's 8.3 up over Jesse Bunnel. Bunnel back here, middle of 1 and 2. Still, he's about 10 seconds up over Savoy right now, but Savoy is stuck in lap traffic. $30 laps to go. I want to see. I do want to see. Where did he pit? He pit on 142. So Jeff Pless can make it all the way to the end. And he's just a little bit up the road from JD McHaley. So, like I said, this is going to be interesting to see how it plays out. Back to your leader, Andrew Phipps. Does Phipps come down early to get fuel and go? I gotta imagine if you put 2 tires on, it'd be crazy to come in, just do fuel and go. You know, maybe you know something about fuel or about tires. The other guy doesn't, but I guess we shall see. See what the camera says is exciting around here. So we got Crownover and Savoy starting to have a little battle. Crownover starting to come through the field. I gotta think Savoy's thinking about fuel save. And actually, I want to check his too. Savoy pitted lap 137. So Savoy's got to do a lot of fuel saving to make it work. And if there's anybody that can do it and stay speedy, it's usually him. We're going to show the driver box. We'll kind of bounce this around for a minute. Apparently the most interesting man, according to iRacing, is Jeff Pless. He is all over the back of Fatherball. You know, at this point, I got to imagine trying not to burn up his tires too much, but still stay somewhat consistent. And if we look at, let's go last times, as Dustin Haynes is headed down pit road. Jeff Pless in a 30.1, so he is faster than the drivers in front of him. It'll be interesting to see how this all unfolds in the last 25 laps here. I love when iRacing starts bouncing between cars because it can't make up its mind on who we want to look at. Kevin Savoy in the 98. In the Dogecoin 98 car. I still think that that car is hysterical. I didn't even know it was a real paint scheme. Kevin Savoy still trying to make his way towards the front. He sits 20 seconds back from Andrew Phipps. I gotta imagine we're gonna see Phipps come down here, and I would think the next couple of laps. Because we know he doesn't have enough fuel to make it the entire way. Let me double check. His last pit was 132. He's going to have to pit with 10 laps to go. If we check last lap times, he's still running 30-second laps. So Andrew Phipps, your leader currently, but I gotta wonder what he's thinking. Where does that pit road spot come in? I know he'd probably like to put Jeff Pless another lap down just to be safe, but I don't know if he's gonna have that kind of time. Let's check. I'd like to check Crownover as well. He pitted lap 138, gonna be close for him. We know Savoy was 137, Jacob Bowen 137 as well. I don't think some of these guys can make it. I'll be honest with you. I don't think that the top 5 can make it without a pit stop. Let's get a little bit of a race recap up for you. 170 laps, caution free, 14 lead changes tonight. As we get to lap 171. Carter Nelson just hit pit road. So I think you're starting to see these guys pit and take their last little bit of fuel, maybe 2 tires. You know, it'll be interesting to see what happens as we continue to watch Andrew Phipps. He's up 11 seconds over Jesse Bunnel. I think if I'm Bunnel, I go early. I take 2 tires, and I see how it rolls. As Phipps is going to continue to stay out, he might be trying to gamble it, force Pless and those guys to really have to drive the wheels off of it. But I think these guys are still better off. They've got fresher tires. We'll have to see. Phipps continues to stay out. 15 to go, 14 at the line. Really clean race tonight from these guys. I mean, if we make it full-length green, I'll be impressed. Jesse Bunnel has hit pit road for the final time tonight. We'll see what happens there, how that plays off. I gotta imagine Phipps is thinking pitting very, very, very soon. Phipps up 21 seconds over Crownover now. We're going to pay attention to when Jesse Bunnel, he's already rolling. We're going to actually check and see. Fuel only for the 88. Gutsy call. It might be the right one. We'll have to wait and see as Phipps continues to circle the drain and try to get as much time out of this thing. Jacob Bowen has already pitted, I do believe. We're going to go ahead and show the details. No, he hasn't. He's just been put a lap down by Phipps. Phipps has hit pit road. That'll hand the lead to Crownover once he comes out of turn number 4. But do we see Phipps take fuel only? That's going to be the interesting question. The 5 is down in turn number 4. He will inherit the lead this time around, regardless. It's going to be very close for Anthony Crownover. We'll come back to Andrew Phipps. Fuel only for the 48 car. I think this is going to shake some things up. Amanda says he's out of tires. What's up, Keith? Crownover still your leader. We know he pitted on 138. Has he saved enough fuel? I don't know. Kevin Savoy not that far off of him. I've got to wonder if Crownover waited too late, but again, we'll see. It was, oh, good Lord. Stroker Ace, I believe. Pretty sure it was Stroker Ace. And it was Burt Reynolds. Oh, if it wasn't them, I'm trying to think of who it was. Unless it was the Gone in 60 Seconds movie, the original. Crownover continues to lead. He's got 2 seconds over Savoy. He's got 9 seconds over Phipps. 8 laps to go. Wait, it was in Hooper, and it was Hal Needham. Crownover going to let him go. Man, it's going to be close. This is going to be very, very close. Let's check last lap times. Crownover's dropped it off to almost 31s. Oh, I forgot all about Cannonball Run. I forgot they drove that car. All right, let's get that off the screen. Crownover continues to lead. We'll check the gap. 2.6 back to Savoy. 7 to Phipps. Man, I gotta wonder, did Savoy do what I think he's always known for? Has he saved enough fuel? At least for a top 2, it'd be a nice turnaround for him for the season. I don't know if Bowen's saved enough either. It's going to be a very, very good question. 5 laps to go. You know, Crownover hasn't had a great start to the season. This would be the start of a turnaround for him. 3 laps to go when we hit the line. 2.9 over Savoy. Still got a lot of time over Phipps. I just think that these guys saving fuel saved more tire than Phipps did. Looks like Savoy's slowly starting to reel in Crownover. Knowing Savoy that close, if he knows he's got it, he's gonna push for it. But then Crownover starts to pull back out. It's the battle of who saved enough. You know where you got it. 2 laps to go as Crownover crosses the line. 3.1. As we get ready to come out of turn number 4, Anthony Crownover going to head for the white flag. And this is where we hold our breath. Does he have enough fuel? He ran out at Auto Club. We'll have to see as he comes through 1 and 2 very gingerly, not trying to push that number 5 car very hard. Down into 3 and 4 for the final time. Crownover's got a healthy lead, 3 seconds. Like I said, he ran out at Auto Club, but he's not going to run out tonight. Anthony Crownover brings the win home. And I think I got to check. He's out of fuel. Ah! He is out of fuel. Oh, that is wild. Either that or he's saving fuel so he can do his burnouts. He's saving fuel so he can do the burnouts. Oh, wow. That was a run. I didn't think that Crownover had enough fuel to make it the whole way, and he gets it done tonight. We're going to go ahead and we'll get our tower off screen. We're going to get the results up as we let Mr. Crownover do his victory burnouts if he's got anything after they get their photo. Anthony Crownover going to come home with the win. Kevin Savoy in second. Andrew Phipps coming home third. He led most of the race tonight. Green flag to green, or to checkered flag. No cautions. Bowen's going to come home fourth. He actually saved enough to bring it home. Jesse Bunnel going to come home with the short end of the stick on this one with a fifth. Jeff Pless finishes sixth. JD McHaley up to seventh. Eric Kapp is eighth. Aiden Haller's ninth. Diesel Weasel's 10th. Mike McHaley 11th. Tom Gom is up to 12th. Gabe Griffin 13th. Sam Green's 14th. Josh Brock 15th. Zach Korn is 16th. Dustin Haynes 17th. Carter Nelson is 18th. Anthony McPherson 19th. Dennis Daly 20th. Michael Brock 21st. And Gary Freeman 22nd on the night. Excuse me, folks. I got the hiccups out of nowhere. That's a whole lot of not fun. But we've got him already in the waiting room. Anthony, you ran out of gas at Auto Club trying to track down JD McHaley. We're kind of holding our breath up here in the booth, but you pulled it off tonight, man. Congrats.
Yeah, thank you. That's what I was just talking to my teammates about. I messed it up last week. I just bad error on my part. I would have did better just running it out and pitting for some fuel the way that I did pull that out last week. But wanted to make up for it. Seeing where my track position was, I got held up a little bit. And so I was like, man, I lost like 3 or 4 seconds and then messed up pit road. So the only chance I have to catch them back is by making one less stop. So the last 2 fuel runs, I had to save just a little bit. And then that last, I don't know, what do you think? Like probably 30 laps, I was clutching it on corner entry and just had enough.
Well, it was funny because I kept watching the lap times and I'm doing the math here on my phone trying to figure out who could make it. I'm watching your times and everybody else's. I wasn't sure if you could make it. Did you start clutching right out of pit road that last time?
I started clutching maybe 7 to 10 laps into the run, or 5 to 7 laps. I realized, okay, it's going to be that close, so I need to start clutching now.
Right.
And, I didn't get to a rhythm though until there at the end when I started pulling away from Kevin a little bit.
I mean, it was a solid run tonight. Especially once you got down to about 5 to go, I said he's got to have enough because nobody's going to make that mistake twice. And I could tell that the RPMs were staying lower in the corner and everything, and you had a safe lead over Kevin. I mean, me and you both know Kevin is like the master at saving tires and fuel out of nowhere. So, you beat the master at it, which is also impressive in its own right. And with about a 2.7 second lead there at the end.
Yeah, well, I gotta learn sometimes. So as many times as he's beaten me that way, I've had to learn from the best. But no, it's awesome, man. I I don't deserve it on speed for tonight, but I guess it's speed and you got to have the mind game in there too. So I
Oh,
won the
for
mind
sure.
games tonight.
For sure. Well, and you know, you've had a rough start to the season. Is this where we start to see the turnaround and you know the pickup towards the end?
Yeah, man, I just need to finish the race, not get wrecked. Uh, if everybody just leaves me alone, I'll just be quiet right here and ride along, and I'll be talking to you at the end of each of these races.
I like it. I like it. Well, anybody you want to give a shout out to before we let you go?
Yeah, shout out to Andrew and Jesse. Always good friendship right there when we get a race. Good times to hang out. And you, AJ, the broadcast is awesome. Like I said, I can't wait to go back and watch it.
All
Um,
right.
and Josh and everybody for putting this on. All the admins of the league. And yeah, had a good time.
All righty. Well, congrats on your win tonight. We'll let you go. Hopefully I can talk to you again next weekend. And, you know, this is just the start of the change of the season here.
Started something new. Here we go.
I like it. I like it. All right, bud. Well, have a good night.
Later.
Anthony Crown over your winner. We're gonna get the fuel saver in here. This man's always dangerous. Anytime it turns into a fuel saving game, I ought to know. I've gotten bit by him a couple of times. Kevin, you come home second place tonight. I wasn't sure how it was gonna play out early in the race. You led, then kind of faded back. Was that just kind of part of the strategy to try to save as much fuel as you could to extend your runs, or just kind of trying to feel out the track?
It was strategy, but it was strategy for a yellow flag. That first stop, I didn't take a set of tires to
Oh
save one
no!
for to save one for the end just in case, and so I fell back a bit, hoping, hey, we'll get a yellow flag eventually and bunch everything up, but we never did. So that plan went out. But yeah, I was pretty comfortable running a pretty decent pace, and I felt like I was saving enough fuel. But man, I got to the run before the last one and did not think I could make it on fuel at all. I thought 45 was pushing it, and man, when we hit that pit road and filled it up with fuel and saw, you got 50 laps to go and I can do 47 on a tank. I'm like, oh well, gotta try it. I got nothing to
Right.
lose because I was not gonna catch Jesse nor Andrew. Um, but then I saw Anthony stop one lap later, so I'm like, I'm gonna have to save an extra lap compared to him. So
Right.
um, he got by, and I kept saving, and just I saved a bit too much. I ended up with an extra lap of fuel, but I just wanted to make sure to make it to the end. So, but man, congrats to Anthony. Got snookered on the fuel saving tonight, but with great run. Finally get a great run. I've been having bad luck in crashes and penalties.
Well, and
So
we talked over the
nice
same
to
thing
complete good.
with Crown over as well. I mean, you guys have had a really rough start to the season compared to normal.
Yeah, big time. I've been having decent runs, but just penalties or getting caught up in a wreck or wrecking myself, and so it felt good to have a nice strong finish tonight. And congrats to everyone on making it a full green flag run, 187 laps
That's
on a track
impressive.
that was not really easy to run. Like someone could easily push it and go deep in the turn and just run into someone easily or run up the track getting on the wrong line. But man, nothing of that tonight. That's an awesome run for everyone.
Yeah, I mean, we had a couple of guys spin on pit road entrance. Michael Brock spun second lap of the race, but everybody did a great job of getting it moving, not bringing out the yellows. So I think it made for some great racing to watch.
Yeah. Um, if I would have took tires at the first stop, it would have been I would have stayed in the pack. But I was looking at the times and seeing the top three just duking it out, so it was pretty good.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Well, like I said, second place on the night tonight. Anybody you want to give a shout out to before I let you go?
Gotta say thanks to Jacob for bringing up the idea of probably being able to make it on fuel, and then seeing I can make it. So thanks to Jacob. Sorry that it didn't work out for you as well, but um, man, you'll get it one day. Um, thanks to everyone at the Throwback series for running this league, all the drivers, you, AJ, for broadcasting the races every week, and congrats to Anthony, man. You really did a great job tonight.
Yeah, I like I said, I'm pretty impressed on the fuel savings out of the entire top four. So, congrats on the second tonight, Kevin. I'm going to go ahead and let you go, and hopefully we can talk to you again next weekend.
Hopefully, I get to talk to you for the coming weeks for sure.
Like I said to Crowd Over, this is the turning point of the season.
Yeah.
All righty, buddy.
That's what I'm hoping.
Well, have a good night. We'll talk to you next week.
Thanks. Have a good night.
All right, Kevin Savoy, everybody. We're going to go ahead and get your points leader, third place, leader of the most laps tonight, I think, Andrew Phipps. Andrew, it was going to be close on fuel. We saw you and Bunnel kind of start to take a different path about halfway through that race as you guys tried to jockey to get ahead of each other. Just kind of come up a little bit short, took fuel only there at the end. But at least you still made it on the podium for the night.
Well, thank you. I am points racing. I would love to win, but Jesse led a lot of laps, and there was no way I was going to get by him one-on-one. He was just too fast. So I short pitted by a couple laps, which pretty much killed my opportunity to save fuel to make it. But I thought if I could lead the most laps, it's worth 5 points.
True.
And I think net gain, if I could lead the most laps, I come out with more points than if I let him keep leading and get the win, but
Right.
I don't know. It's and you never know if the yellow is going to come out or not. And then I also was kind of hoping, I'm like, maybe these guys have to, I don't know how hard they had to save. I'm like, I go, man, if they're going to be clutching, I might be able to make it up by just running as hard as I possibly can. But I think I got within 3 seconds of a second, but I'm sure he could have hammered down right at the end. But I don't know. You never know what's going to happen. I can't believe it went green the whole darn way. It's amazing.
Me and Savoy were just talking about that. I mean, 187 laps. You've got, a real big gap in iRating and skill set in this league. And I think everybody did a killer job tonight.
I think so too. And I got to say, excuse me, I'm getting a drink of water. I'm choking. I did the open practice last night with a couple of the guys, and it was really fun. I mean, I'm not, an expert by any means, but get to work with a couple guys and watch how much speed they pick up, and just understanding what I'm doing. I even showed like my pedals and stuff, how much brake and how much throttle I'm using and stuff. And it's cool because you race with faster guys. That's how I learned. It's just racing with guys that helped me, and I learned so much from them. So I appreciate it, and I'm more than happy to pass it on to the guys that I get to practice with the night before our races.
Yeah, I've done a similar thing in the moto world. You surround yourself with guys that are faster than you, and you slowly start to increase. So I totally understand what you're talking about there.
Yeah.
Now, the question is, you said you short pitted there by a couple of laps over Jesse. Would it have made a difference if you long pitted? Could you make it further than Jesse? And would that hindered or have helped?
If I went as long as I could and tried to save fuel, I wouldn't have been able to lead any laps. I probably wouldn't have even have led a lap.
Gotcha.
So I figure it's 5 points to lead a lap, and it's 10 or another 5 for leading the most laps. I'm like, I'll trade 10 points for 2 points.
Right.
It was kind of my thinking, and I'm not good at fuel saving, honestly. I'm not good at it. It's a skill I need. I'm gonna be good at it by the end of this season, because obviously we got a whole group of guys that know how to do it in here.
Oh yeah.
So I'm learning.
That's one of those skills that I possess only in luck. So I feel your pain.
Yeah.
But
the other thing is when guys were clutching, like Crownover and Savoy were clutching and saving fuel, and they were only losing like a tenth of a lap. Like they're not slow doing it.
No.
So I would when like last week when I was trying to save at the end, I was giving up a ton of time. and so it's a skill. I'm gonna have to work on it.
Like I said, it's one of those things that I only possess in luck. That's about it. So
I gotta say, congratulations. That's 2 weeks in a row. We got new winners for the season, and that's always a great thing. Crownover was in contention for the win of every race he's been in this year, and I didn't even have a decent finish yet, so he definitely deserved that win. He was fast and he was smart, so congratulations to him.
We've kind of had like a different mix on the podium a little bit. You know, at least two out of the three, we're getting some different drivers in there, so it's kind of nice to see.
Yeah, it's a great thing. You don't want the same guys winning every week. It gets pretty old.
Right. Well, third place tonight. You still hold on to the points lead. Anybody you want to give a shout out to before I let you go for the night?
I just got to thank my teammates. Jesse and Crownover helped a lot. I wish I was on the other end of the podium here, but I'm proud of him. He did a great job and happy to bring it home. I got a 0x, which is a good thing, and I had a lot of fun. And on to next week. And thank you guys. I appreciate it for the broadcast. I'm sure my wife's already watched it here.
Oh, well, I know you've got a lot of airtime there for a little bit. So congrats on the third place tonight. I'll go ahead and let you go, and I'm sure I'll get to talk to you again next week.
Awesome. Thank you guys. Appreciate it.
Andrew Phipps, everybody, your third place finisher on the night. Well, that's it from all of us at Stevens Motorsports. Me and Dennis will be back tomorrow night. We'll have the Car trucks. I cannot remember for the life of me where we're headed, but we'll have that starting about 9:15ish. So be on the lookout for that. I'll have that all up to date and ready to go. And then we've got Car 3D on Friday night. And then outside of that, I think we're going to be free for the weekend. I have some setup stuff to do. If you guys are looking for setups for 87s, for the WNIS, definitely go check out the link in the description for PRS. I build all the 87 setups for them. We're going to have every race is going to be set and ready to go. They're going to be fast setups. I've got me and Dennis and a few of the other guys. We've got some real good stuff coming for that. So be on the lookout for that. Usually we have Fast Car on Sunday nights. We're not going to have it this week. We're off until February. I got a lot of good things coming. I've already got some things down on paper. We'll have some announcements about that in the coming weeks. But other than that, everybody have a good night. If I don't see you the rest of the week, have a good rest of the week. Have a good weekend. We'll catch you guys back here tomorrow night.